Deku Fam!
Hey Deku Fam!
Welcome back to our channel!
Welcome back!
We're back with another video, and in this one we're talking Love is Blind Season 4. How good is it? Please,
we've been really enjoying. We just love Love and Blind in general. We believe in the concept. We believe that love is blind, and the physical appearance is just a bonus.
Yeah, agreed. In this video, we really want to talk to you about the couples that are together and our perceptions of them.
Yeah, what the lessons that we've learned from each couple.
Okay, so let's start with the first and only couple who didn't make it to the altar.
Unfortunately.
Marshall and Jackie.
Yeah.
They were my faves, honestly.
Yeah, we loved them. Remember when Jackie had that emotional breakdown in the pods, and then Marshall was able to help her. Marshall allowed her. She said Marshall helped her understand herself, her sensitive side, which was amazing.
I love that. Like, they were actually a couple that I was rooting for so much.
Yeah.
And in the pods, she opened up. She even had, you know, another guy who liked her, but she knew straight away that Marshall was the one.
Yeah.
And I just thought, okay, it's going to be plain sailing from this point onwards. But they get to Mexico, and it feels like there's a bit of a conflict or tension within Jackie.
Yeah, there was a bit of tension within Jackie because she has maybe a difficult life, it seemed like, and she broke down again at that point in time. And it was nice to be able to see Marshall be able to comfort her again.
That was lovely.
Be there for her.
Yeah,
Anna kept
so
giving me side eyes and be like, Gabes, this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Just listened, took in all that information, didn't leave her. He just sat outside the bathroom, and then eventually she let him in and she broke down on him. He wasn't trying to share a solution. He wasn't trying to diagnose her. He just listened and said, I'm going to be here for you. It must be hard.
And it was great. So the whole experience from the pod through to Mexico was really nice. Another thing that was nice about their relationship was because Marshall's not actually the type of guy Jackie would go for.
Yeah.
So in the pod, she had Josh, who was more of her type.
Yeah.
But she decided, based, I guess, on maturity, to actually choose what is good for her.
Yeah.
Because some people keep repeating the same mistake because they keep going with the same type of people.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see that Jackie was actually like, this guy is better for me, and therefore I am going to choose Marshall because I need to grow and open up more. And this guy's going to help me do that.
Yeah, 100%. But then she couldn't hold on to that for long enough. As she got to know Marshall more, it's as though she actually didn't like him as much because she wanted someone who was more aggressive and, you know, I don't know where all of this came from, but I guess at the end of the day, she didn't have the maturity to sustain the decisions that she made. It's so easy to make that decision up front and say, yeah, I want someone that's better for me. But to actually see it through and actually deal with the challenges or differences that come with being with someone who's not your usual type, you know, only the mature can actually hold that down. Yeah,
because I guess in another aspect where Jackie was not as mature was the fact of, it's almost like she chose a part of Marshall. She liked his sensitive side to the point where she was able to open up and be more vulnerable. Yeah. But it seemed like on the day-to-day, he wasn't manly enough for her, which is a double standard. Yeah. And I think that when we choose somebody, we have to choose their whole self. And if she's actually saying she doesn't want a guy like Josh, she has to be able to say, okay, I'm going to accept Marshall for who he truly is, holistically, and all of him, and then walk down that path.
Yeah, 100%.
But if we're nitpicking on Marshall, I guess with Marshall, like, there was a point where Marshall and Jackie seemed like they had an altercation. We didn't see what the altercation was, but there was beef. And it seemed like Marshall was gone for, I think they said 3 days, was it? 3 days or so. And I think that even though he is someone who is quite sensitive, I think when you have a disagreement with someone, to then peace out for 3 days and not talk to them, and especially knowing that Jackie has some sort of insecurities, I think that is kind of a red flag on Marshall's side. And the thing is, it's okay to be able to say, okay, I need some space, maybe like an hour or two, but 3 days, I think that where Marshall is kind of a feeler, he needs to be able to overcome that as well, to be able to have those difficult conversations. And also the timing of conversations. So again, when, I don't know whose birthday it was, I think it was Chelsea's, they went to a birthday gathering, and then afterwards, Marshall wanted to have a serious conversation at like midnight or whatever time they came back. And Jackie wasn't ready to have that conversation. He could have parked it and said, okay, we'll talk about it the next day because Jackie had work. But because of the way that he feels, he was like, I'm not going to be able to sleep, etc., etc. He wanted to have the conversation right there and then. Yeah. And that annoyed Jackie.
But just to be clear, she was the problem in this situation. I think he will find someone who actually will love him for exactly who he is. You know, sometimes it's so easy to nitpick and like say, you know, this person could improve in that way and this way and that way because we all need improvement. But sometimes your percent of improvement is what? 5%? And the other person is a whole mess and needs to fix their life. Yeah. And that was the situation in their relationship.
But I still think that Jackie and Marshall could still work it out.
It's true.
Like I to be fair, Anna and I bicker a lot. Yeah. Like we've talked about it in loads of different videos. But I think with the right support and the right network and the willingness to open up.
That's the key bit, willingness. She does not have the willingness.
I think she has the willingness, but there's a lot of fear there as well. Yeah. And I think like they were both just saying things that they both didn't mean. She was like, you're not a man enough. She didn't say that. She said, I want you to pursue me more. And then he said to her, like, I see you as a project, when he's actually saying, I see potential in you. Yeah. I feel like we can go X,
You know what? We think everyone could work. With willingness, it doesn't matter who the people are. If you're willing to do the deep work that it takes to make a relationship successful and work on yourself, die to yourself, any couple could work. So we're always going to see the glass half full.
But, you know, I still have hope for them. Hopefully Job steps aside. And
I don't know why he's back in the picture. That was mad to me. Okay, so the next couple, Kwame and Chelsea.
My fellow Ghanaian.
I can't believe he said yes.
Yeah, I'm so shocked because the whole way through, I was like, this guy is not interested. This is a one-sided relationship. And I felt so sorry for Chelsea because she kept pursuing and pursuing. And every time, it seemed like Kwame was creating another reason as to why he couldn't be married to this woman. Yeah. And I just felt sorry for her.
Yeah. And I wonder if it was the producers. Because obviously it's a TV show and they can choose the moments that they air. But I do question Kwame because he's the type of person that when he talks or responds, it's like he's telling you what you want to hear rather than what he actually thinks. Yeah. And the fact that he wanted to propose to Micah, but obviously she chose someone else, and his disappointment in that. And the next minute, he's with Chelsea. So I don't know, maybe I already had a negative perception from then. Also, he talks a lot and
what's wrong with talking a lot?
I don't know, I like my quiet man.
No, I just think that it's the way that Kwame like interprets love. Kwame seems like he's the kind of person that says, I love you because of how much you tell me you love me. So it's like, it's a very weird way. I never heard Kwame talking about how his future aligns with Chelsea, what values they have, what he's excited for about them spending time together. It was always like, oh, you love me? Okay, great, I love you too, kind of thing. Yeah. Just happy to be loved so well because Chelsea, she loves you well. Oh my gosh, she is a great woman, and she just seems like she was just ready for a husband, preparing for a man, and just knew her worth as well. Some of the, issues that she had with Kwame, him talking to Micah by the poolside, like every point she was making, she was spitting truth. So she deserves a great man. And I hope Kwame is a great man for her. And I also hope that they will stick it out and pray that, Kwame is where he gets a bit, I don't know, confused from time to time as to what he wants. That he's able to be stable. And I also hope that he fights through his relationship. One thing I was worried about is when Micah said she wasn't interested in him and he didn't say anything. He was like, okay. I hope that he has the grit because it's not a relationship now, it's marriage. Exactly. And we're for them. And it takes fight to get through a marriage. And I hope he has that fight in him. That's the bit now. I mean, he's done it. He said yes. Maybe there are things that we didn't see. And I want to believe that he's going to be an amazing husband to Chelsea for the long haul, for life. Next couple, on to Paul and Micah. This couple right here. This was a big surprise. I did not expect the no. They were like, okay, it's a guaranteed yes for me. Okay, like, they seemed like they were on the right track. They seemed like they had a good connection. Micah and Paul's mom, like, house on fire. They loved each other. Everything seemed like it was great. And he knew he was analytical, but he was
combating that, and he actually realized that, you know, she's someone who has a different, well, they have the same outlook on life, but she's definitely
has a different approach.
I
think similar to us.
Yeah.
Like, I am maybe more like Paul, where I'm a bit more analytical, I'm a bit more
looking at the looking for risks everywhere, that he can't even enjoy the moment. But 7 years later, look at you now.
Okay, thank you.
Enjoyment king.
Back to Paul and Micah.
Yeah, no. So he loved the side of him that she was bringing out, but when it came down to it, his analytical nature was just too overpowering. And I personally think that this is just a sign of some of the men that we see at the moment, where they just have so much choice, but then they don't want to make a decision. They can't, because they want perfection.
Yeah, well, just generally in relationships, I think people want more of their partner, and they expect everything
to be ticked,
to be in order before they even take one step forward.
Yeah.
But relationship, and the part of the beauty of it is the fact that you're not fully perfect.
Yeah.
Obviously, yes, you're supposed to have your life to some extent in order before you move forward, etc., etc. But the beauty of a relationship is actually building life together and refining each other for better. So you both grow together. And I don't know whether, you know, Paul saw something maybe that we didn't see to give him the benefit of the doubt. I also question the fact that, you know, Micah was good friends with Irene, and she was someone who wasn't that such of a nice character on Love Is Blind. Yeah. So I don't know.
And her friend in real life as well, that was saying that she doesn't agree with the relationship. I feel that friend was a red flag. So if you look at the company she kept, maybe that's a reflection of who she was, and that's what he saw. I don't know, to be honest. They didn't show enough of their relationship, I don't think. Or the negative sides of their relationship.
The negative sides, it seemed like it was all great until right at the end when he said no, and I was like, oh.
And then he's bringing out all these reasons, like, oh, she's not nurturing, this and that, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I just think he let the analytical side get the better of him, and he wanted it to be 100% sure before he stepped forward. And I just think in relationships, it is a risk, and I don't
it definitely is a risk.
Yeah, and I don't like it when people actually think that who you choose is more important than like what you do in the marriage to make it work. Two people with the right heart posture can actually make it work more than two compatible people. Yeah,
I think Micah was willing to like fight through the relationship, but Paul wanted everything to be in order. So it's either he saved himself or he is self-sabotage. I don't know.
Brett and Tiffany, my love.
Anna even cried.
My love.
At their wedding.
Honestly, it was so powerful. Imagine, like 36, 37. You, to a certain extent, are thinking, when is it my time, Lord? When is that time coming? You know, I am prepared, I'm ready, I am mature, I am wise, I am set up financially. Where is that person, Lord? And there they were on Love Is Blind. Yes. That might be a message to someone, because Love Is Blind is coming to the UK.
So, Brett and Tiffany, their relationship is the definition of worth the wait. Like, the fact that they've been waiting for so long, like 36, 37 years.
And Brett was single for 6 years as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Before that.
So it's like,
I don't know what to say about these two. I just think
it was great.
Sometimes you see some 36-year-olds, 37-year-olds, 40-year-olds who have never been married, no family, nothing, but their maturity level is like they're 21. But my guy was mature. He knew himself. He was humble.
Yeah.
He was financially set up. That is what it looks like to be preparing for your partner.
And one of the biggest difference between Brett and Kwame is the certainty that Brett had in Tiffany.
That's another thing that I like.
He was so certain, like, this is the woman for me.
No worries.
I am just going to the altar to say yes. Yeah, There's no question about it.
And it's not because she's perfect. She had her issues as well. She got overwhelmed at times. She was asking about his finances a lot. Like, loads of things. But at the end of the day, he knew. And that reminds me of you, to be fair. Like, with our wedding, you were just like, you know what? I'm marrying this woman. We knew straight away we're marrying each other. And then it took us sort of 2.5 years to actually make that happen and get to proposals and stuff. But you never had a doubt.
A year and 8 months.
What,
from I asked you out to the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever the time scales were,
yeah.
I'm losing track. But I just think it's beautiful when a man just knows what he wants, and regardless of the up and down of the woman, he is still like, yep, you're mine. Yep, I'm here till the end. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to marry you, and I'm ready, and I'm doing this right till the end, and I'll make an honest woman of you. And I think it just gives you such peace and you can actually relax and be like, you know what? I am safe here, and I just love their relationship. So yeah, I did cry.
It was great. I really enjoyed it. And hat off to Marshall for coming and supporting his boy at the wedding. That was really nice as well.
Last but not least, Zach and Bliss. What a journey.
What a roller coaster. Yeah. What redemption. Even when Zach chose Irene, I was like, brother, what are you doing? I don't know whether Zach was picking Irene because she sounded more attractive.
No, but he said why. He said it's because her family is very judgmental, and her dad would judge him, and he was scared
because
whole family. Whole family would judge him.
Yeah, that's it. Actually,
the experience, and imagine like the feeling of that. Yeah. And he was literally letting his fears.
Yeah. So that's the very good. Well done. You see, letting your fears determine your future is a recipe for disaster. Yeah. I am just so happy that Zach and Irene split up and then allowed an opportunity for him to meet Bliss. And the fact that he was humble enough. Because some people will be like, okay, I made a mistake, and then just say, okay, made a mistake. Yeah. He made a mistake, went back to Bliss, apologized to Bliss, and say, hey, I have made a mistake, and he corrected it. And now look where he is now.
Yeah, and he was patient enough with her on the journey as well, so that, and, reassuring her often, because she's like, I'm the second choice. No, you're not the second choice. I see how that looks from your perspective, but you were my first choice, and you are the choice now, and I've chosen you. And he kept repeating that. If he had showed any sense of like instability or doubt, she would not have married him. But from the moment he returned back to her, he was on it, and I think that's amazing.
Hat off to Bliss.
Oh my gosh.
For saying yes.
Humility on her part as well, honestly. Because some people will be like, no, you didn't choose me first, blah, blah, blah. And you'll literally lose out on the love of your life. Yeah. And she just said, no, I've not seen a connection like this before. Even when her dad was coming for her, she was like, nope, I like this guy. He's the one for me. And I love how just strong-willed she is and strong-minded. Yeah.
And if we go back to Zach's fears, look what's happened on the other side. The fears that he had was all in his head. Yeah. And a beautiful moment was when he was sitting with Bliss's sister and the mum, and the mum ended. The whole situation ended with Bliss's mum saying, "I will be your mum."
Yeah.
Look at that.
Do you know what? Honestly, he really. That is a redemption story. Yeah, honestly.
There's a massive redemption story. Yeah. And I'm really happy that they're able to navigate the challenges that they have. Because the fact that he proposed to someone else,
it just shows how they work through problems as well. Yeah. Because they've already had their first trial from the pods, and they were able to overcome it and make it to the altar. And it just shows that they will push through a lot of hard decisions and difficult times in their relationships. And they're going in with their eyes wide open. And I really hope that they go far, but they're both very mature individuals, and those are big decisions to make, and a lot of humility is required, and they did it, and they made it all the way.
So I wish them all the best.
I think marriage is sweet, marriage is beautiful, it's such a great environment to be sharpened,
but it's
encouraged.
Not easy.
Yes, it's not easy at all, and it does take a lot of work, a lot of prayer, a lot of dedication and commitment to actually see it through. And I like the concept of Love is Blind, because one of the biggest hurdles is, the emotional connection or, building that depth. And they started there. So, it's a concept we love and believe in. And, hopefully our perceptions on the couples was helpful. And we'll see you in our next video. Bye! Peace.